All right, moving right along. The Boston Bruins versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Former Adams Division rivals get ready to face off for the third time in the last 4 postseasons. The Bruins swept them in the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals, then beat them 4-1 in the first round of 2020. The Canes, however, dummied the Bruins in the season series this year. 3-0 they beat them, outscored them 16-1. The last game was back in February, and like I said before, it's regular season, doesn't matter too much going into the playoffs. As for the odds, Carolina is a small favorite in the series, -120. Game 1 is basically a pick-em. And this is where the big news is, the goaltending. Freddie Anderson and Antti Raanta, I mentioned they won the Jennings Trophy, but unfortunately Freddie got hurt a couple weeks ago. He's not going to be starting Game 1. Antti Raanta is going to be. Peter Kochetkov has been called up. He's going to be backing up Raanta. Then as far as the Bruins goaltender, Linus Ullmark, he's penciled in for number 1 over Jeremy Swayman. Again, I don't think it might be interchangeable at this point. This series feels like a coin flip. I think it's a coin flip. I think the goaltending situation has totally turned it around. I wasn't sure who I was going to pick before, wink, wink. But now that it's either Ullmark and Swayman versus Antti Raanta, I like the Bees. I think they got a decided advantage there. Plus, they got a lot more experience. I'm going to go Boston in 7. I'm sorry. Boston in 7.
Wait, you're one of the Boston guys. Grew up there.
This is tough. I know I've kind of been on Carolina in terms of not being afraid of them. I more meant that as a Stanley Cup winning team, but I don't know what it is, and maybe it is the 16-1 outscoring of the Bruins in the 3 matchups they had this season, but I don't see Carolina losing this series, and I guess I'm a little overconfident because in looking at the gambling odds, I think that it is a 50-50. Is it a -110 each? RA, or even the Bruins a little bit favored somehow?
Yeah, well, I wrote these down yesterday. Carolina 120 in the series. Game 1 was a pick 'em. They may have changed slightly because of the knowing Anderson in, but you can call it a pick 'em, I'd say.
The series right now, Carolina -118, Boston -105 on the Barstool Sports book.
Okay, so pretty much kind of a coin flip. Now, Carolina, what they're going to have to deal with is the Bruins are unbelievable at shutting teams down offensively. Yeah. They keep teams out of the high-scoring areas. They're able to kind of box out well in front. But Carolina's great, too. So it's like it's 2 really good defensive teams battling each other. You know what it might come down to? I picked Carolina. In 7. I'm going to stick to that. But it's one of those things where they don't have a Brad Marchand and they don't have a David Pastrnak. And they don't have a friggin' Patrice Bergeron. Now, all the Caniac fans will argue about how good Aho is and how good Svechnikov is. Neither one of them are as good as the 3 players I just mentioned on Boston. And they've spread them out where Pasternak's not playing with Bergeron and Marchand, so they got Pasta with Hall, a little more depth for the top 2 lines. If Marchand, a guy like that, or Pastrnak takes over this series, that's the way Boston will win. But I just think the depth, after you look at the top line, the top 2 lines, and the 3rd and 4th line, really helps Carolina. I think Carolina's defense is better. I will say McAvoy's had an unreal season, not mentioned nearly enough in terms of the Norris Trophy and one of the top defensemen in the league. He could really kind of blow up offensively in this playoffs as well. What a great player he is. But from 1 to 6 in Carolina, what D'Angelo's done as he came over from New York, the consistent play of Slavin, it seems like these teams are so evenly matched, but for some reason, I just think Carolina has the edge over them. And I don't really know how to explain it besides that this regular season just is in my mind a little bit too much. So I think it's going to be a great one, and I'm going the Canes in 7.
I'm with you, RA. I got Boston in 7. And this to me was just as difficult as doing the mini St. Louis series. Goaltending player.
Similar.
Goaltender playing a huge factor in this and really not knowing how it's going to go the full length of the series. The Bees need to do 3 things. They got to get Haula continuing to play the way he has. He has played like Krejci down the stretch here. Last 20 games, 20 points. If he can continue that level of play, especially with the top line who are going to have their hands full, because we know that they can produce offensively, but I would say that what probably that top line, especially with Bergeron, is most known for, and he's probably in the Selke conversation, might even win the fucking thing again this year, is can he just neutralize their offense? You can continue to get that second line scoring from Haula, in which they do too. They're a top 10 scoring team in the league. They can fucking snap the puck around and they drive offense. But then Haula continuing to play like that allows the third line to free up with Coyle, and the physicality was the other one I wanted to mention. They got to get on the Slavin. They got to get on D'Angelo. They got to get on the forecheck and need to fucking punish these guys for all their touches. And I'm looking for a guy like Trent Frederick to have a breakout type series. I think he's one guy that now that you've got those two top lines neutralized for Carolina, who we know can fucking snap it around and drive offense. Man, some nights they're out shooting teams 2-1. Like, they are going to outshoot you. But if those two top lines can do their job, I'm looking to the Bruins' bottom six. I agree with you where I think that they are outmatched a little bit on the back end, but that's where the playoff hockey, the Bruins' bad boy hockey, is going to come into play, and the low-scoring games are going to play into their favor.
Merles, what you got, buddy?
I got your Bruins in 6 games.
Wow.
7 games sounds good, but I can't see them going down there and winning a game 7. They'll take care of business at home, game 6. And I'm really going to be looking to see if they'll get is the full schedule out. Will they get an afternoon game?
The Bruins, Mother's Day, it's at 12:30, and the Bees are good on the afternoon
games. They are
games.
so good on the afternoon games, and that team is great. A fun little tidbit I saw in your notes about Donnie Del Negro is the trainer, longtime trainer for the Boston Bruins. It's his last season. This guy is known.
Win it for Donnie.
He's known as the best-dressed trainer in the NHL. And,
really?
Yeah, and here's a little inside scoop. You know, Marina and them, they're always showing Pasta walking in those nice suits, and Bergie. Donnie is the guy that taught them guys how to dress. He's the guy behind all of it. That's what my source just told me from the inside. So
he's their Harry Knuckles, like win it for Harry.
Yeah,
win
so
it for
this
Donnie.
is it. He isn't going away after one round, so they're going to win this round, and we're going to get a couple good live streams hopefully.
Love that.
With the Barstool crew.
These tidbits are just like this is inside information at its finest.
I mean, this is why Merles is here. It's
I'm not a stat guy, but
inside tips.
It's the inside tips is what I'm looking for to try to get us that edge so we can put a beating on the Barstool Sportsbook tomorrow night in Hoboken.
In any other juicy ones?
On the Bruins? That's all I got for now, and I'll have another one in the later series.
What do you make of the goalies doing their thing after the game?
Oh, I love it. I've actually been focusing on the Bruins because I knew we were coming down here, and I knew Fights is going to be here. He's going to be all over me, want to watch the Bruins. You guys, Grinnell and RA. So I've been watching a lot of them. This Olmark has played phenomenal the last few games. Lindholm, you guys haven't talked about him. They added him on D. That's a great ad. I like this Bruins team a lot.
How can you not?
And I wouldn't mind going to Boston for the finals either.
I got Boston in 7.
Yep. G, what do you got? I know you got the Bees, I'm assuming.
I got Bruins in 5.
Bees
I think
in
Freddie's
5.
hurt.
Wow.
I'm not. I said it before the show. I'm not a Ranta guy. The Bees have been playing incredible the second half of the season, arguably better than any team in the NHL. I think not only is this team playing for Donnie Del Negro, I think they're playing for Patrice Bergeron. We don't know how many years this guy has left, and every time it's brought up in a press conference, they all mentioned they're playing for Patrice Bergeron. Eric Hall is the best second-line center in the NHL.
You did say it, G.
We can't forget that. And we also have these amazing Jake DeBrusk Spider-Man shirts. He's been incredible since the trade deadline. So I'm riding the Bees.
Here, you got it on
one right
camera?
here.
There's one out front here. Spidey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the proceeds are going to go to pay for him going to driving school. And he's going to learn how to get. He doesn't want RA honking at him while he's driving the streets of Boston because he can't put on his turn signal and can't do the 3-way parking.
He'd have it coming. Another note on Donnie Del Negro. Congrats to them. Drury High graduate out in North Adams, Mass, where he went to school. 29 years he was with the Bruins as their trainer. And I don't know if you guys saw the clip. They gave him a pretty sweet golf cart in the garage. He ripped around a few Marshawn Lynch donuts when he gave it a spin for the first time. So congrats, Donnie, on an unreal career. And hopefully it doesn't end for another couple months and another few series. So